Hey fam, welcome back to New Jack Swing. I'm so glad you guys want to tune in another week to see my shenanigans. This week's episode is a little bit different. So I actually don't have a house project, but I am having a few friends over for dinner tonight. And so I wanted to do a tablescape and show you the process for that. And also like how I'm gonna cook up our little vittles tonight. So tonight's menu is all about surf and turf. We are going to do some shrimp, some steak, and some chicken. I wanted to do lobster tails, but the place that I usually go, they didn't have any. So I just stuck with shrimp, but no big deal. We're gonna make it work. So we were also gonna do this outside, but it's a little gloomy today. So I'm hoping the rain staves off, but if it doesn't, that's all right. We can kick it right here in my kitchen. My friends know their way around my kitchen. So tune in, and I hope that you like this week's episode. So really, I was inspired by, just having some friends over for the summer, and I wanted to be outside, so I knew I was going to need a grill. I shopped around a bit. I went to places like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, just to figure out like what kind of grill I wanted. I really wasn't planning to go in and say, I want this grill, it has to be gas or it has to be charcoal. I just wanted something that looked nice and something that was going to be easy. So just looking at some of the different grills, I realized that they had different gadgets on them, and I just wanted something really simplistic. All right, after shopping, I landed on one of the grills that I wanted, and luckily this was a day that my best friend was over, so she was able to help me start to put the grill together. And it was a little bit of a task, y'all. So we got busy. Like, this thing had a million parts, like most of the things that I seem to buy. But we got busy and started putting all of the pieces together, at least the first part of it. Y'all, me and my best friend are both degreed up. However, we could not figure out the left or the right side, so we had to keep going back and correcting our mistakes. It was actually pretty windy on this day, so we decided to move this inside and to put the rest together. Get you a best friend who loves to be just as handy as you do. So she's just as sharp with a drill as I am. And so this project was easy by two people. But you'll see here that we also had to use some manual tools to get the screws in. Like, they were these small holes. And we just wanted to make sure that we did it right. See, we believe in being a boss and being domesticated. This grill was given problem after problem, and so we had to try to attack it from every angle. Frustration was starting to set in, so I knew it was time for me to take a break. In the meantime, I went to go see my favorite person, my hairstylist, because one, I had to cover up these grays, y'all. I grayed very early, so I had to make sure that that was getting taken care of. Plus, I just needed my hair washed. Okay, so this was like day 3 of trying to put this grill together with all these little parts. So when I would take a break from work, or I was after work, I just decided I'm gonna put the grill together and just get it done myself. Okay, almost there. Putting the top together. Y'all know these moments of accomplishment are like my everything. Sometimes there are tools in the box that just make no sense. For instance, this hinge pin or clotter. Come on, proud moment. Look at that. It opens and it closes. Look at the grill, y'all. Put together by myself with some help from my best friend. But I am so excited about this. Like, I did not think that this project could happen, but it did. And I am just so grateful. Now we are about to have some real fun. Okay, it is Saturday morning, y'all, and so I am having a few friends over for a dinner party. So naturally in my basement, I think I have this very organized, but in fact, I do not. But this is where all of my party supplies are. So I went down here to try to find out what kind of plates I wanted to use because y'all know me, I love a good theme, and I wanted to make sure that I had what I needed already. But first I had to get some fuel before I went shopping, so I grabbed some orange juice and hit the road. Okay, so first things first, I went down in the basement and I found the plates that I want to use. I also went shopping this morning just for some food, but I wanted to pick up a couple more items because what I have in mind for decor needs to blend. So first things first I'm going to do is I'm going to wash all these plates. I'm going to load the dishwasher and let's get into this. All right, let's wash and season this meat. I'm making steak and chicken, so I had to do these separately because one, you just should. Okay, let's get into seasoning this meat. I use these little packets from McCormick. I love them. They are tasty and they are in abundance. So I always like to use these. And what I'm just doing is seasoning the meat by putting some olive oil and the seasoning packet on there and just kind of rubbing it into the meat. So before my father was a cop, he was a meat cutter, and he believes that you should marinate your meat for hours and hours and hours because it gets all the juices in there and it also tenderizes your meat. And I got this handy dandy meat sort of marinating caddy from Macy's on their 70 to 80% final sale. Y'all, you gotta check out that clearance rack. It is everything. So I'm just putting this together. This is by Martha Stewart. And I am going to set this in the refrigerator and let it marinate. No matter the size or number of people for a dinner party or any kind of party, a barbecue, whatever, I am into prepping very early because things happen and sometimes you run out of time. And I hate for people to show up to my house and there's no food ready. At least appetizers are there. And so I do a lot of prep ahead of time. So these are some items from my garden, except for obviously this cheese and tomato, but the basil is from my garden. And I'm making a caprese salad, which is my favorite, and it is an easy appetizer to do. It's just basil, tomato, and mozzarella with some balsamic glaze. It is amazing. So I'm going to do a rough chop cut on this basil and also on this purple cabbage. I also didn't realize I was out of onions and this was all I had left. So I had to make it work. But of course, part of prep is also making sure that you're storing all of these things in the refrigerator after you cut them up. And so it just makes it easier when you are putting together your food that you have them already in these containers and you can just take what you need from it. And it keeps the kitchen clean at the same time. Okay, it looks like the sun is starting to peek out a little bit. The chance of rain is getting lower and lower, so I think we might be able to do this outside. Fingers crossed. So a big win for me was being able to use a lot of things that I had growing in my garden. So here I'm just harvesting the romaine lettuce that I'm going to use for tonight's salad. And y'all, this was such a vibe for me. First, I didn't think I could grow lettuce in a container. And since I was able to do so and it was thriving, I was like, of course we're going to use this lettuce. So I just cut enough for tonight and I have plenty for the week. Isn't that beautiful? So here I'm just trying to get these skewers together. I made the mistake of not soaking the bamboo sticks overnight. And so I was a little worried about that, but I was gonna make it work. Next, it was on to getting the table prepared with a tablescape. It was still raining outside and I just didn't trust it enough to be out there. So I decided to do this inside. And what you see me doing here is adding some levels under the tablecloth because I believe like food should be passed around, but also like it should look, when you present it, that it should look appealing. And so I like using different heights to place the food. So I think this sort of black and white and teal decor went very well with what I was doing. And as you can see, my friend Marvin showed up to help me set the table. But I love this look. Like I didn't really think like this is what I wanted to do when I first started out in the day, but it worked out quite well actually. Okay, so here's the final look for the table without the food. I always like to have wine with dinner, and so I placed these wine glasses along with these little small wine decanters that I had found at, get this, Dollar Tree. I actually think they might be candle holders, but they look like the wine decanters that the restaurants have the little wine in, so I went with them. But this is the final look, and I was obsessed with it. So the food was finishing up and my guests had started to arrive and they were nibbling on appetizers. So I was able to start to present the food out and voila, this is what it looked like. So I didn't want to vlog my friends actually sitting down and having dinner, but I did want to share a few cute moments. We made it outside and my friends had a blast, and that's what's most important to me. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you next Sunday.